I'm Doug Upton and this is an owner's review. I only ever do owner's reviews of equipment, so it's stuff I own. Surprise, surprise. And that means that hopefully you get a much more kind of balanced opinion of what it's like to actually have one of these instruments or equipment, or how to use it, how to get the best out of it. If you like that sort of thing, then please remember to like and subscribe. So today I've got a Baum guitar. That's Baum guitars from Denmark, and it's a Backwing design, which I think you'll probably recognize looks a little bit like a Firebird. I was actually looking for a Firebird for quite a long time, tried many guitars out, couldn't quite get on with them, couldn't quite find that something special. And then I saw this advertised on Facebook, of all things, and there's that bit of you that thinks, okay, would I trust a guitar company I don't really know, selling only online on Facebook? So I did a bit of investigating. Their marketing is just phenomenal. I think the photography, the way they advertise is brilliant. The story that they put behind it just feels great. So Baum guitars are, well, they started with a single luthier making beautiful designs on an individual basis, and they were so popular and successful at that, and the demand was so high, they decided to try and find a way to deliver them to what I'd class as the mid-market, the kind of £1,000 to £2,000 market, which means you've got to have something that competes with your Fenders and your Gibsons. And it's not an easy space, really, especially for a fairly unknown guitar brand. But I think what they've done is really quite clever. So number one, they have some of the best designs I've seen in a long time. I've got many guitars, probably too many guitars, and I haven't really felt as though there's much that's come out over the last 10 years or so that's exciting, that catches my eye, that makes me think, yeah, that's really something, except these. And it wasn't even just this design, it was all their designs. The fundamentals of how they have managed to start to bring more units to market is they've got the body and the neck and the general guitar built out in Indonesia, but it's really good quality. And the difference for what they do over other Indonesian guitars, which you may have your opinions of, they actually ship all of that to their workshops in Denmark, and they add all of the hardware. So things like the pickups, etc., are their design, built in Denmark. And they then finish the guitar off, they set it up perfectly. They do the neck, they treat the neck, they do all the kind of fret finishing, and the edges of the fingerboard, no rough edges. That feels like that's been done by an absolute professional. It doesn't feel like it's been kind of thrown through some mass production thing. And they do still do them in small batches, so you do really have to wait for them unless you're buying something out of stock. So you do get a special guitar, and probably something that's the equivalent of a, an upmarket top-end guitar at a mid-market price, which I think is really quite good. So let's just talk about the specs for a moment. So you've got, let's unplug that. So you've got basically a mahogany body, you've got a roasted maple neck, You've got lovely binding on the sides of the fingerboard, and you've then got nickel frets and a rosewood fingerboard. You've then got these mini humbuckers, these gold tone mini humbuckers, which are basically great humbuckers. They've got a really good punch in the sound, and even on a clean sound, very articulate mids, beautiful. You've got a Bixby tremolo, which, let me just talk about tremolos for a moment. I've never been a tremolo fan, a Bixby fan, and yeah, I can't think of many guitars that they look good on personally. They've always felt like braces on teeth for me, too much metal. Whereas these, the minute I saw these, straight away, my view was, yeah, they're designed for a Bixby. So, is this actually the guitar company that Bixby tremolos have been waiting for? Maybe. I'm sure a few people have an opinion on that. Anyway, second thing about it was, I was a bit concerned with all of this, how well the tuning stability would be. Well, this bridge basically is designed by Baum. It's got rollers in it, and it does absolutely stay in tune. It's really good from a tuning stability point of view. And the strength and resistance of the tremolo means that when you bend the strings, it doesn't go out of tune. It doesn't knock the other strings out of tune like a floating trem does. So it's really, really nice. Other things on here, obviously three-way switch, and then the volume and tone pretty much works like a Les Paul. It allows you to, on the middle, blend in as much as you want of the two pickups, or on the individuals, you've got two sets of volume and tone there. So really flexible from a tone point of view. It is a bolt-on neck, and I'm cool with that, to be honest. I know some people have their opinions. It's Fender have run a whole business with some very expensive and very amazing guitars for years with bolt-on necks, and so many other companies primarily use bolt-on necks, people like Ibanez and so on and so forth. So I'm perfectly comfortable with that, and I have to say, when you play it, you probably can't hear that through the microphone, but it's one of those guitars where you pick it up and you don't plug it in, you just play it and you think, God, there's some volume. There's some volume and tone in that. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic from that point of view. This is, as I mentioned, the 10th anniversary model, so it comes with a lovely case as well, and I have to say the case is really good quality. If I was buying one that comes with a soft case, if I wanted a hard case, buy their hard case. It definitely makes sense because it's really nicely finished, so very pleased with that as well. So, on to some sounds. That's the bridge pickup. Okay, so that's on a clean, nice clean tone. Middle. this gives you. Let's talk about the tremolo for a moment. So you're not going to be dive bombing with the tremolo. It's not that kind of thing. It is there really to allow you to get vibrato in chords, I think. I mean, you use your fingers to do individual notes, but when you're I think that's kind of all it's there for, but it sounds beautiful and it's super stable. So one of the things that I noticed is I've moved away from tremolos generally, unless I'm playing out and out lead, because when I was bending strings, I do a lot of boomer bending, as they call it, and yeah, I just found that the other strings were dropping out of tune. Whereas with this, it does fractionally change the pitch, fractionally, not like a floating trem where it's quite noticeable. So it almost feels like playing a fixed bridge when you're bending the strings and so on, and playing kind of two strings at once or whatever you're doing. So I think it's great from that point of view as well. And so this is the neck pickup. If we want to go a little bit more rocky there, and go back to the bridge pickup. In the middle. The great thing in the middle, obviously, is you can bring in more of one or the other. Obviously, if you turn any of them off completely, it kills the whole sound. But it does mean you can do silly things like turning off the top one and then doing that sort of thing, which is good fun. And then, yeah, if I switch to here. So if we do a bit of a clean tone on the middle pickup and do a bit of looping. So, I wanted a Firebird. I looked at loads of Firebirds and I liked them, but I just couldn't find one that felt special. I guess they all look a bit similar, you know, trying to find one that's a bit unusual is difficult, whereas this thing, it's like a Firebird on steroids. So yeah, very pleased, and I think it's definitely going to get a lot of playing, a lot of stage time, up against some very stiff competition, as you can see on the wall behind me. So yeah, well done Baum Guitars, that's what I can say. And just to indicate my delight, I actually ordered a Wingerman, which is another one of their probably most popular designs that they have. So hopefully that'll arrive soon and I'll be doing another video. But till then, thank you for listening, and hope this has been useful. Cheers, bye.